Listeners, ladies and gentlemen, after the first chapter dedicated to the Abruzzo region in Italy, I will present to you the adventure of my grandfather in what it was called Africa Settentrionale from 1940. This little film does not the ambition to replace a history course, and given its duration, historical shortcuts will be made. But before starting, a short reminder of the geopolitical context of that time. On the 3rd of September 1939, following the aggression of Poland on September 1st, Great Britain and then France declared war on Germany. In June 1940, the English and French armies are destroyed and blocked in Dunkirk by the German armies in the north of France.
We shall fight on the landing grounds, we shall fight in the fields and in the streets, we shall fight in the hills, we shall never surrender.
Given the dramatic situation, Churchill triggers Operation Dynamo, also called the Miracle of Dunkirk, and which will allow the evacuation of 340,000 soldiers. Bring the boys back home. Following these events, Mussolini will wait until France is defeated to declare war, 2 days before the entry of German troops into Paris. The 10 June 1940, the Italian dictator declared war on Great Britain and France and began building up forces in the North Africa colony of Libya.
Popolo italiano, corri alle armi e dimostra la tua tenacia, il tuo coraggio, il tuo valore.
Called to arms in March 1940, my grandfather was sent to Libya to join an engineering division in the 10th Libyan Army. For several weeks, he was assigned to the surveillance of the city of Tripoli. He leaves behind his small family, Concettina, his wife, Bonino, his 5-year-old son, and Elisa, his 3-month-old baby, my mother. No one assumes that Elisa will meet her father 6 years after her birth. On September, the Italian 10th Army under General Rodolfo Graziani invaded Egypt. Egypt is a British colony to the east of Libya and the gateway to the Middle East and the strategic Suez Canal. The invasion took place under difficult conditions due to logistical problems, extreme temperatures of 30 degrees that put men and equipment at risk. The offensive was interrupted 100 kilometers from the Italian-Egyptian border, more than 1,700 kilometers from the starting point, the port of Tripoli. The Italian established defense position around the Egyptian port of Sidi Barrani on a line of fortifications. The 10th Italian Army stagnates for 3 months, waiting for materials, which allows Great Britain to prepare a counter-offensive. Called Compass Operation, it begins on December 9, 1940. Initially, it was a 5-day raid around Sidi Barrani, but which expected the expectation of the English general. In 1 week the Italian positions were destroyed and the Italian soldiers captured. The 10th Italian Army is pushed back to the Libyan border. Thousands of Italian soldiers are captured by the English army, which will become logistically problematic. The English army continues its advance and on December 27, arriving at the site of Bardia, the English army is confronted by a fortress well protected by mines, barbed wire and anti-tank ditch, and the whole defensive armament on a front of 30 kilometers. 45,000 soldiers have entrenched themselves after the Sidi Barrani disaster. My grandfather is part of the entrenched troops. For several days, the Bardia fortress is the object of a deluge of fire by air raids, ground artillery, and the bombardment of the battleships of the Royal Navy. On January 5, 1941, the fortress of Bardia fell into the hands of the Australian troops. My grandfather said that the Italian officers had given the order to surrender to avoid the massacre. Captured on January 4 by the 6th Australian Infantry Division, he explained to me that they began a march for Egypt in the desert without water or food for long days. He was so hungry and thirsty that he had to drink seawater in small quantities. He always believed that he had been captured by the English troops. It was well after his death and in the course of my research that I discovered that it was the Australian troops. The rapid advance of the Allies forced Hitler to send reinforcements to help the Italian army en route. During Operation Compass, the 10th Italian Army was destroyed. The German Afrika Corps, commanded by Edwin Rommel, called the Desert Fox, was sent to North Africa in February 1941. It was then that the Desert War took a completely different turn.